Good morning and welcome to the Core Connection. I'm Mira Rubin here with you on Enlightened World Network. And today's topic should be really fun. It is the elephant in the room, and that is the things that we pretend we don't see or that we don't know. There's just this weird phenomenon I've noticed with others and myself about massive blind spots when it comes to our own personal growth and evolution. And I want to talk about that because it's just a conundrum to me and really, really fascinating. Anyway, before we get started, let's just take a minute or two to settle in and get connected here. So let's take a deep breath in through your nose, hold it and imagine clean, crisp oxygen just flooding your lungs and nourishing all your cells and your blood and all your organs and bringing vitality and life to you throughout your body. And as you exhale, maybe roll your shoulders, relax the tension in your neck and your back. And now let's take another deep breath in through your nose. This time, imagine sparkling white light lighting up every molecule of your being and all the electrons and them zooming around in your body and beyond and connecting you with the universe. And now let's just press our palms together really gently and tickle your fingers against your palms to feel how delicious that tingling and tickling is. And bring yourselves present right here, right now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, Julie. I'm so glad to have you here. And everybody who's joining us, thank you so much for being here. I am excited about this topic because it's such a bizarre phenomenon. I work with people on a very, very deep level through my coaching practice. And I do a lot of deep work for myself as well. And I'm constantly looking for arenas in which I can grow and expand. And it's so fascinating to me. Hi, Sally. Great to have you here. Welcome, welcome. What I notice is even though the work that I'm doing with people is really profound and deep, I am constantly or frequently surprised. Hi, Hope, welcome. Oh, it's like old home week here. I'm glad to have you guys all here. It's great. So I'm constantly surprised at how like 3 months, 4 months could go by and we are confronted with an issue that to work on that somebody says, oh yeah, it's been like that my whole life. And it's shocking to me. It's shocking to me when those things arise. Like, how could that be? And because with the work that I do with people, we start out by saying, what in your way of being, if it were to change, would be life altering. So we're working on deep stuff all the time, like life altering issues all the time. And it's remarkable to me at the end of, like 4 months where somebody would say, oh yeah, it's always been like that. And it's a massive trauma. So there's like this humongous blind spot. And I see it in others all the time. And I just got to see it in myself yesterday. So I'm kind of reeling from the shock of it. And I'll share that with you in a minute. So Sally says, oh, me too. Always looking for ways to move forward to help others as well as myself. Great, Sally. That's awesome. And I think that you're in line with so many of the folks here on Enlightened World Network. We're a collection of people that have social awareness and social commitment, and lots of us are healers or people that are teachers, guides, whatever. So I think we're in really good company together. So now we get to look at our own blind spots. So this is personal, but hey, I have had health issues throughout my life, from dental issues to other kinds of health issues to autoimmune stuff and on and on and on. And I have had some extremely traumatic events in the context of medical intervention in my life, like severely traumatic events. And I'm not going to go into the details around that. But as a result, I developed a very strong skepticism and even defensiveness in relation to medical practitioners of all kinds. Uh, and it also, the skepticism and um, my experiences led me into a greater interest and exploration of alternative modalities because traditional modalities weren't working for me in lots and lots of ways. And so I've always had, from the time I was a child, I've had challenges breathing with asthma and allergies and all kinds of other things. So that health challenge has led me to explore all kinds of things that I never ever would have explored. And on the other side of it, there was this deep trauma and skepticism and actual hostility toward uh, traditional medicine, especially, and skepticism of practitioners, even if they're alternative practitioners. So um, it's interesting. Like this has been long standing, really, really long standing. And a friend is starting a health coaching practice and was looking for guinea pigs or people to work with. And I volunteered. And in this conversation, in this coaching session, I got to realize that I have had this deep trauma around my health, my own welfare, my own health, and a deep resignation about being able to really, truly get to a place of robust health. And also lately, here, I'm coughing funny. I've had a lot of trouble breathing and I've associated it. It's been like over the past 6 weeks, especially, but my thinking is that it might have to do with the fires, even though they're very far from where I live. Anyway, what I realized, which was super shocking and very humbling, was that I had this massive blind spot around my health and around my attitude toward my health, and a deep sadness and a deep resignation about it. And that I have really kind of walled myself off from looking at that aspect of my life because I think because there was such deep resignation and I didn't want to be experiencing the resignation. But the truth is that it's been there, it's been there, and I've ignored it to be able to overcome it and live more vitally in the world. But it was still there. And what I got to realize is, hey, guess what? It's time for me, like being in denial around this area of health that impacts pretty much every waking moment, whether I recognize it or not. To be in denial or avoidance of it was not consistent with my commitment to personal growth and development. And so now I'm training my attention on it and doing the processes that I have to be able to clear all this stuff. And what I know is that on the other side of this for me is much greater freedom. The thing is that when I was talking about it yesterday, I said that in my coaching session, I said, you know what? It feels like this black hole, like a void. And I realized I have been avoiding it for a long, long time. And I understand why people avoid these things. And maybe avoiding isn't the doesn't address the totality of this kind of thing. It may be that we normalize things so completely that we just don't see them. So when people say it's been like that forever, this thing around my health has been that way forever, what happens is when it's ever present, you stop seeing it, or you stop being consciously aware that it's there. And so with another client, what I prescribed to him for his practice, to move to the next place. And I think this is a really profound practice for all of us that are committed to our evolution and growth, is to ask these questions. Well, to ask these questions. What am I pretending not to know or see? What am I pretending not to know or see? And we can train these questions not only on ourselves, like what in my life am I pretending not to know or see? Or what about me am I pretending not to know or see? It may be, if you ask that kind of question to yourself, it may be that you're pretending not to see your greatness. It may be that there's an Achilles heel for you that you're pretending not to know or see. In my case, what I was pretending not to know or see was that there's all kinds of stuff going on for me around my health that's under the surface, that is keeping me from my fullest expression, or that has kept me from my fullest expression. So I encourage you to be asking this question, because there's so many blind spots that we have when it comes to ourselves, because we're so immersed that we just and have normalized things that we just don't get to really be consciously aware of certain things, especially things that feel, threatening, or that we have resignation or sadness about. So Sally says, "Oh wow, that really hits me right now." Yeah, it's powerful, Sally. It's super, super powerful. I agree. So once you ask that question, things are going to arise. What am I pretending not to see right now? And then what can I do about it? And so um, often what we can do about it is have a shift of being or a shift of relationship. So the first thing that we can do about it is to look at it, and to look at it head on, to look at it straight on. If I've been refusing to recognize my greatness, what's up with that? What is going on there? What's the dynamic that is preventing me from recognizing my strengths, or recognizing the good in me? So that's that. Then we can look at, well, how do I start recognizing that? And if it's something that we've been avoiding, then we get to look at, good morning, Danette, welcome, welcome. If it's something we've been avoiding, then we get to look at how to address it. How can we address these things in a way that's productive and life affirming? Because really, what we resist, I know you've heard this, lots of um, well, not trait, but anyway, we've heard, what you resist persists, right? It does. It does. What we resist persists, because we are holding it in place with our resistance. So we're affirming its existence on a perpetual basis with our resistance, right? So if I'm resisting this, I'm putting a whole lot of energy in that direction. I'm resisting it. I'm resisting it. And instead of just letting things flow, then there's room for whatever that thing is that I was resisting to release. And so I know that on the other side of these questions, sorry about that, I don't know if you heard that alert. On the other side of these questions is the possibility for greater vitality, greater authenticity, greater wholeness. Because, like, for me, around this thing with health, it's like, I'm all about personal growth. I'm all about addressing the issues in my life. And here's one that's just been so pervasive and persistent, and it wasn't even on my radar, which is, it just is mind-boggling to me that that um that's a mechanism that we employ to, maybe to survive, maybe to protect ourselves. I mean, I think that when I was going through some of the deepest health challenges that I've had, I I needed to minimize it as much as I could so that I didn't become a victim of it. And now the fact that it's visible and in my face and I'm ready to address it, now it is a, an indicator to me that I'm at an even stronger place to be able um, to heal what needs healing and evolve what needs evolving. And on the other side of all of that is freedom. So the thing is that wherever we are, there's more available in terms of awareness and evolution and growth and consciousness. There's always more available in those arenas. And this journey that we're all on together here, this journey of evolution, this journey of awakening, is a hero's journey. It takes courage, it takes persistence, it takes intentionality to uh, and willingness to address the things that are not necessarily so comfortable to address. And wherever we are, you know, at whatever stage of evolution and awareness, really there's always more. And until, I guess, until we are ascended masters or something like that. So Christina says, LOL, second time in less than 12 hours hearing that phrase on resisting. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Time to flow and grow. I love that. Flow and grow. I'm going to use that. Is that okay, Christina? That will have to include my health, digging in. Exactly. Digging in and lightening up all at the same time, you know, is to say, okay, I'm ready to take this one on and to go through that passage. And what I see in regards to my health, because I have spent lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of energy and money and time in my history addressing health issues, but not with success. And so the thing that I wasn't addressing is my trauma around it. I hadn't recognized how deep the trauma and despair was around it. And so now I get to be addressing that. And Sally says, do you believe that emotional issues that we never released can cause this to happen as well? Um, I'm wondering if you're saying this, meaning health issues, that emotional issues that we haven't addressed can turn into health issues. I, be, I believe, I believe that 100% our emotions are energy, and we are energetic beings. And when we don't address emotional issues, there's like a congestion of this energy, and it over time, this is my belief, and I am not a medical doctor, so you can't take this to the bank, but this is just my personal perspective and my experience and my hypothesis about it right now. Not saying that it's true, but this is my imagining around it, is that over time, those things that we deny or that we avoid, the energy of that crystallizes. I mean, just think about an ulcer. An ulcer is actually a really, really good example about that can result from emotional issues that have been repressed, right? Anger, stress. And what happens is when we experience those emotions, our body elicits certain chemicals, creates certain chemical balances or imbalances, and those chemical sets ultimately can result in other physiological symptoms or manifestations. So yeah, I do believe that. And Christina says, use it, Mira, LOL. So like using our adversity to be a foil for our growth. That's what it's all about. That's what challenges in life are about. We're presented with these opportunities. Every challenge is an opportunity to grow and awaken. At least that's my perspective. That's how I experience life, is that every moment is an opportunity to evolve and awaken and grow. And Sally says, no, but I feel it does that in time. It can begin other issues within our lives. And I'm thinking that that's, Sally, you're talking about emotions that are repressed. And so what happens too is with emotions that are repressed is that they show up elsewhere, right? So in my situation, I had all this trauma that I hadn't addressed around medical stuff, and resentment, anger, sadness, resignation, like this whole complex of emotions related to this trauma. And when I encountered other doctors, I mean, I've seen it play out in the way that I approach other medical professionals and practitioners. So by freeing that, by freeing me, by healing the trauma, I get to open more possibility for my healing and my relationships with healers of traditional and non-traditional means. So Julie says, "Oh yes, I believe emotions affect us for sure. Stress for me." Well, you know what, Julie, you're not alone. Stress for everybody. And that's why managing our mindset is such an important thing, to be able to affect our well-being and consequently our stress levels. Hope says, I believe that too, Mira. Over time, things do result in illnesses. It's a shame we don't necessarily have the dictionary on which emotions affect which body part, something which is gospel. Well, Hope, to that thought, I think it's really important for us to recognize that we are a whole being. So emotions affect all of our being. And it may be that based on certain genetic predispositions, then that emotional energy that's repressed shows up in different ways for different people. For me, I tend to manifest things in my lungs historically. And, you know, different people have different weak spots or Achilles heels. And I think that that's why certain people manifest dis-ease in different ways. And you probably are familiar with uh, the topic of epigenetics. Epigenetics is saying that we're not at the effect of our genetic heritage. We can shift our predestined, which it really isn't, future by changing behavior and changing eating patterns, et cetera, and thinking patterns. But we do have certain things that are maybe our innate sensitivities, and then the emotional stress and tension and anger and sadness and all of that affect different parts of our body. But also, to your conversation, Hope, you might want to check out Louise Hay. Had a book, I believe it was Louise Hay, and it correlates different physical symptoms with, and I don't remember the name of the book, but it correlates different physical symptoms with emotional and mental states. And it's really, really powerful. It might be You Can Heal Yourself, might be the name of the book. I'm not certain, but it's really powerful. And it does correlate different emotions with different manifestations physically. So definitely check into that. And Christina says stress is one of the biggest physical health destroyers. You know what? I think the moniker stress is really kind of an umbrella catchword, and really, when we look at what is stress, there's stress associated with sorrow and grief. There's stress associated with anger. There's stress associated with a feeling of overwhelm. There's stress associated with so many different things. It's kind of this catch-all term. And when we see the medical profession recognize that stress is correlated with dis-ease, then we do have to recognize the importance of our mental and emotional state on our physical state and our physiology. And Julie says, is responding to Hope, asking about different correlations of emotion with parts of the body, saying, yes, it is Louise Hay, and the book is You Can Heal Your Life. Thank you, Hope. That's awesome. Yes. And Sally says, that's where my issues lay, in my lungs, which did not occur until I cut ties with my family. Now I'm on an inhaler and get tired very easily because of this. So Louise Hay and others correlate issues with the lungs with sorrow. So that's probably a clue to you. And when you cut ties with your family, Sally, maybe one of the things that you get to see is the sorrow associated with that, and healing that sorrow deeply in your heart. And Julie says, Heal Your Body, I think, is the name of one of the books from Louise Hay. Dido, yes, Heal Your Body by Louise Hay. Dido came to the rescue, as always, and gave us a link for it. And Metaphysical Causations for Physical Illness. Exactly. And I have an appointment with a client in 3 minutes. I said with a client, so you don't get concerned that it's about my health. I have loved having this conversation with you this morning, and I invite you to ask yourself the question, what is it that I'm pretending not to know or see? And then what can I do about it? And the do about it part may be all about shifting your internal state, addressing your mindset. Maybe there are some actual actions you can take in the world to address it. But this is a really powerful practice uh, to find the elephant that's sitting in the middle of the room. I mean, like, this elephant for me was sitting in the middle of the room, blowing bubbles and wearing a party hat and blowing a party horn, and I didn't notice it. So um, asking these questions, what is it I'm pretending not to know or see, is a really, really powerful thing. And I love you guys so much. I so appreciate this time we get to spend together. And I hope to see you again here soon. I'm Mira Rubin. This is the Core Connection. And I go live every weekday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern on the Enlightened World Network Facebook page. And please, please check out the other awesome programming on the Enlightened World Facebook page. Great community, heartfelt, and soul felt folks. So until next time, lots and lots of love, and hope to see you.